am stood on what proudly claims to be the oldest continuously inhabited street in the whole of Europe. But where am I and who lives here? Find out in just a moment.
Today's youthful couple are searching for a perfect country pad just 3 weeks before they tie the knot. But other plans are already being made.
OK, so I would want to rip out all these cupboards, get rid of them completely and have drawers.
Luckily, I've brought my magic wand along with me for this search.
You're a magician.
Don't know why more people don't live here.
Shh.
Don't tell them.
Keep quiet. Don't tell them where we are.
Today, I'm in Somerset, in England's smallest city, Wells. Now, behind me is the beautiful Gothic cathedral, but this is Vicar's Close. Completed in 1363, it was built to individually house each of the 42 clergymen who sang in the choir. Thought to be Europe's oldest continuously inhabited street, it remains largely unchanged, and the cottages are still home to members of the choir and staff, a tradition that survived for over 700 years. But as you're about to see, it's not the only landmark in this beautiful county that's worth singing about.
Located in the heart of the West Country, Somerset is bordered by Devon and Dorset to the south and Wiltshire to the east. Somerset's varied landscape gently spreads from coast to country, encapsulating some of the most eye-catching scenery Britain has to offer. Running from east to west, the Mendips cover an area of 77 square miles and offers picturesque scenes of rich green pasture and farmland laid over undulating slopes and rolling hills, crisscrossed by an array of popular bridleways and footpaths. This tranquil setting is only interrupted by deep and rocky chasms like Cheddar Gorge, whose rugged ravines create a permanent and striking scar on the landscape. The popular Kennet and Avon Canal meanders through Somerset's peaceful valleys and past historic buildings such as the pumping station at Claverton. At the heart of the county lies the Somerset Levels, a rich and beautiful area of lowland whose skyline is dominated by the iconic Glastonbury Tor. With its rich and diverse landscapes, it's easy to see why Somerset has such enduring appeal for those looking to escape to the country.
The average price of a detached house in Somerset currently stands at £276,000, which is a very attractive £6,000 below the national figure. However, the bad news is if you head to the northeast of the county, and Bath in particular, you can expect to pay a hefty premium of around £100,000 above the national figure. This is due in no small part to the popularity of the beautiful Georgian architecture and good rail links to Bristol in one direction and London in the other, which, funnily enough, are also some of the same reasons attracting today's buyers to the area. So let's meet them.
Consultant Paul and lawyer Amber met 3 years ago at work. And last year, whilst on holiday in South Africa, Paul popped the big question, much to Amber's astonishment.
There is a story to our proposal. It was on the beach in front of my house where I grew up. I had no idea. It was a complete surprise.
First thing Amber said was no, 3 times.
Well, I was quite shocked. So it wasn't like a no, I don't want to marry you. It was more like a, oh my God, no, not now. Do it another time when I was ready.
And then she did say yes.
I did say
thankfully.
Yes. Yeah.
Just over a year later, those wedding bells are starting to sound that much louder as the big day comes ever closer.
Amber is South African, so we're going out to South Africa for the ceremony. It's going to be terrific, it's going to be lovely and warm, and we're really excited. Now is an important time for the move because we're going to get married, and I really don't want to come back and live in a rented house. I want to provide a home for my new family.
Since getting together, Amber and Paul have been living in the London borough of Wandsworth. However, living in the city certainly has its pros and cons.
The main downside to where we are now is probably the space. We have a sitting room in the kitchen, which is in the dining room, and Amber is a very good chef. She cooks often, but that does mean we're in the same room all the time.
With the bright lights of the capital fading fast, Amber and Paul have already started making plans to move west.
We'd like to move to Somerset, so obviously near Bath, because it's a really beautiful city and Paul has a job there. We're looking for a place that is outside of the city, because there's no point leaving a city to move into another city. So we're looking for like a village feel just outside of Bath.
And after years of living in rented accommodation, for Amber the move will finally enable her to throw down some much-needed roots.
I'm most excited about having a home. It's been so long since I can remember having my own place where I feel like it's mine, I'm secure, no one's going to tell me to leave, where we can hang pictures and know that they're going to stay for a couple years, where we can buy furniture and not think, oh my God, how are we going to move this again? Because with a rented property, there's always that threat hanging over you that you have to move.
But the couple's move west won't just mean a new life for Amber and Paul. Plans to expand their family are also at the front of their minds.
Another big thing for us about moving to the country is that we'll finally be able to start our plans, or put our plans in motion to start a family. We're quite keen to get on that bandwagon. I think the moment we get out to the country and we have the space and we have our own home, we'll finally feel secure enough to say, okay, now we're quite set up and we can actually think about having a baby. We really want to have our forever home. So right now, we think we're at the time that it's right for us to make this move.
Our couple dream of living within commuting distance to Bath and within touching distance of rail links back to London for Amber's work. So we'll be concentrating our efforts in the northeast of Somerset. But in order to gain a better understanding of what Amber and Paul are actually looking for, it's time I met up with them.
So welcome to Somerset. Now, congratulations, apparently. You're about to get married.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. You look worried, and you should be. It's literally a couple of weeks away, isn't it?
3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks.
Less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And now you want to move house?
That's right, that's right. I mean, we're also thinking about starting a family, so I want to get out here.
Yeah. You agree with that, Amber?
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up in a really small town, and I've never really enjoyed living in a city. So for me, it was a no-brainer, really.
So talk to me about the environment that you want to move to. Maybe even bring up your family in.
Definitely not in the middle of nowhere. Initially, he wants to live in the middle of nowhere.
Blokes always do.
But for me, initially I was sold on the idea. And then I realised that it can be quite isolating. So definitely compromised and living like in a village, close enough to Bath, so we still feel like we're still young and you know, there's people around us in a community.
So let's talk about this house. How big is it?
3 to 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
4
So it's a big
bedrooms.
house.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, how important is the kitchen to you both?
Yeah, to me it's really, really important.
Outside space.
Manageable.
Yeah, manageable garden. I mean, we don't have a lot of time to sit and mow acres and acres of land.
Well, it's a big move from the big smoke, surrounded by people. So, are you prepared to be flexible in the style of house?
I really want a detached place, like,
Okay.
because otherwise we may as well just move into a suburb outside of London. Do you know what I mean? If we're moving to the country, then I want a detached house and I'm not gonna settle for...
Can you hear those? Can you hear those? They're alarm bells. All right, OK. There will be compromises along the way. Compromises are normally driven by how much money we've got to spend.
Yeah.
So let's remind ourselves of the budget.
500,000.
Yeah,
OK.
500,000.
Can we push you? Is there any more coins in the piggy bank?
520.
OK.
Utter top.
Yeah?
So, we've got quite an extensive wish list. But the great thing about your position is you've got nothing to sell.
Yeah.
And you're getting married in a couple of weeks. We better get on with it.
And we need to move in by June. So no pressure.
That's just around the corner.
Yeah, that's why we've put all our eggs in your basket.
I'll carry the basket very carefully, but very quickly to the first house, shall we? Come on.
With £500,000 to spend, Amber and Paul have a decent budget. However, they also have a very defined wish list. They're looking for a detached property that blends modern and contemporary interiors with old-world charm and character, along with space inside and out to accommodate their future family. Location is key, so a village community within striking distance of Bath is essential. We have a varied mix of country properties to show our house hunters, but price tags will remain secret until after the viewings. Whilst our final visit to the Mystery House will attempt to shake up and challenge Amber and Paul's priorities for their new house. And with wedding bells just around the corner, there's no time to lose in finding that perfect first home.
So, you've gone over to South Africa quite a few times. You're into your food.
Yeah.
Have you taken them on with any barbecuing, Paul? You know, they're big proud barbecuers in South Africa, aren't they?
So one of my, what I assume was a test to see whether I was welcome into the family or not, was to braai for her father and her 2 uncles and cousin.
Braaiing is just being a bloke, barbecuing.
Basically, yeah.
We're starting our property tour of North East Somerset in the small rural village of Whatley, 20 miles from the centre of Bath and 2 miles from the lively village of Mells. Famous for its rustic architecture and timeless streets, the village of Mells was once home to Jack Horner, who was forever immortalised in the popular nursery rhyme. Today, Mells offers residents a village shop and cafe, along with an award-winning pub and Grade 1 listed church. Back in Whatley, our first house is this converted barn, located in a private courtyard development.
Now, don't get too excited. We're not going to be showing you all of this property. We're going to look at that bit there.
Okay.
What do you think of the house?
Yeah, so, like, obviously we wanted detached, but this is, like, quite good. And they're not living on top of us, so it is, in a way, detached.
It's very quiet, it's very peaceful.
Yeah, it is very quiet, I must say. This is actually quite nice. You feel secure.
Good.
Like, safe.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? It's a big, big move moving from
Yeah,
the city.
yeah.
And I think this would probably be a slightly smaller step and a more doable one for you.
Not so isolating, because that was my biggest fear.
Let's look inside.
Yeah.
Converted 20 years ago, the barn is a complete contrast to Amber and Paul's current living arrangements back in London. And through the oak-fronted porch, there is one obvious room to kick off our tour in.
So let's start with this nice open-plan kitchen.
Yeah, nice, big.
Yeah, it's a really nice size.
Well, that's the thing about this kitchen. I mean, beforehand, it would have just come to this wall here, and the current owners extended this, and it makes all the difference, doesn't it?
totally.
It throws the eye. I mean, if you didn't want the kitchen table in the middle, you can have that as a dining area or breakfast area.
And also the light coming in is so lovely. Like, it's so warm and homely, and it needs some work, but it is a nice. This is definitely a really nice size.
If you want to change it, what do you want to do to it then?
Okay, so I would want to rip out all these cupboards, get rid of them completely, and have drawers, and then they push back and they click very nicely. Oh, and that whole sink thing's got to go. I want to put one of those country.
I mean, you probably do want to do a
sinks,
major
Yeah,
refurbishment
but
here because you've got
also-
nothing else to do this year, have you?
Well,
Oh, no, you haven't got 2 new jobs, starting a family and getting married. Good. Follow me.
Okay.
So with the kitchen totally redesigned, it's time we moved across the hall to our next room to see how that fares under Amber's keen eye.
Rightio then. Tell me what you think of this living room.
Hey.
This is nice. Really light.
Again, very homely, very welcoming.
It's a fine balance, but look at that.
Hey,
Yeah, your fave.
wood burner.
Yeah.
Excellent, that's really good, I like that.
That's beautiful. That's open onto the garden, and it's really
Yeah, I like
light.
that.
Is this house, I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen the entirety of the ground floor, so is this house big enough?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's certainly a family home. It's got a family feel to it.
Great. Let's go and take a look upstairs. Follow me.
So far, so good. Downstairs certainly seems to have made a good impression on our couple. So it's onwards and upwards to see if the bedrooms pass Amber and Paul's tests.
Now, this master bedroom is the master because, well, actually, it's pretty much the biggest bedroom and it's en suite.
Okay.
But they've managed to get 4 bedrooms out of this first floor,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
which is what you're after, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know you said you would love to have a big master bedroom. Big this ain't, is it? But could you cope with it?
Could we knock that wall down and take out one of the bedrooms?
Yeah, you could do.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have only a 3-bedroom property, but then you'd have a really nice big master suite.
Yeah, this is a touch
Yeah.
on the small side.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, if it's just a bit bigger.
So the upstairs seems to be letting the side down. Nonetheless, in addition to the master, it comprises of 3 additional rooms along with a good-sized bathroom, creating enough space here for Amber and Paul's future needs. Outside, I'm hoping the generous stone-walled garden is going to be large enough.
Okay, so the garden is, well, what you can see.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It's manageable. This is kind of what I would
Yeah,
be
nice sized lawn. You
comfortable
play a game of cricket in here?
Yeah. So, a good amount of outside space. How much do you think this property's on the market for?
I'm hoping not more than 490.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Paul?
Probably 480.
Oh, right, even lower. Okay, well, this house is on the market for offers around £550,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, that is an asking price.
Yeah.
It's just come onto the market. According to the agent, the owner is negotiable.
Yeah.
All right? Why don't you go back into the house, have a good look around upstairs, tap some walls, think about what you would like to do. Maybe turn it from a 4-bedder into a 3-bedder or whatever. OK?
Yeah.
And I will meet you back outside.
Okay.
Yep.
See you in a moment.
Thank you.
Our first property is £50,000 over budget, but it certainly provides on paper everything our couple are looking for in their new abode. 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen and a manageable garden, all combined with a rural charm and a light modern finish. Plus, lying just 20 miles from the centre of Bath, the property still offers a reasonable commute for both Amber and Paul.
Okay, so this would be the room that we would lose if we were to knock that all down.
Okay.
That's quite sweet. That'd be sad to lose that, but...
That's quite cute.
And I don't know what we'd do with it, space-wise.
Walk-in wardrobe?
Yeah. That'd be good. So, honestly, I love the downstairs. Downstairs really does it for me. Kitchen is amazing. Good space, really light. In fact, the whole house is really light, so I love that. If the upstairs had been slightly bigger, then I think, like, this would be the perfect house for us.
I think with the distance to Bath, and particularly distance to the train station for Amber, there's a bit too many compromises to make. It's a lovely house, but I think there's just one too many things we'd have to do.
So, you knocked all those walls down upstairs in your heads. Is there anything up right now?
No.
Is
The whole
this...
thing's flat.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it was going that way. Is this something to think about, Paul?
Certainly. It's really got us kind of mulling over some options.
Perfect. Let's keep going.
With such rich and fertile landscapes, it's no surprise that Somerset boasts the highest number of food producers of any UK county. We've sent Amber and Paul to one pioneering farm whose unique philosophy of pasture to plate aims to educate almost 10,000 children and adults a year about the countryside through sustainable and responsible farming and eating. Our buyers are meeting Nick Baker to learn a little bit more about the farm's values.
Hi, I'm Amber.
Hello, Amber.
Nice to
I'm
meet
Nick.
you.
Nick, hi, Paul.
Hello, Paul. Welcome.
OK, so what type of farm is this?
This is a dairy farm, 1,500 cows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's about 4,500 acres. Somerset is a really terrific place for farming, for dairy farming especially, because we grow some really good sweetgrass, and that's what we want.
So, what is pasture to plate?
The idea is to connect, reconnecting people with the countryside, whether it's children and adults. The pasture plate was an idea that we had some years ago about getting kids to produce their food, grow their vegetables, harvest them, take them to the kitchen and cook them.
Putting the pasture to plate philosophy into practice, Nick's son Andy has set up his own gourmet business using locally bred pork. He specialises in making charcuterie, which is a French method of drying meats for food preservation. But Nick's products have a distinct West Country twist. Amber and Paul are jumping straight in to help produce some spicy chorizo pokers. Made from regional ingredients, including local cider...
It's a lot of garlic.
...fresh garlic, local cheddar, and one final secret element.
A few other secret ingredients.
But you can't tell us.
But yeah, no.
The meat comes from locally reared old spot and saddleback pigs. Once the ingredients are kneaded together, it's time to create the poker sausages.
We've put the mix in here for the spicy cider chorizo pokers, so that's ready to go. This is sheep intestine, which we're going to fill the mixture into. So, yeah, should we make a start?
Yeah.
OK.
After a demonstration from the expert, it's Amber's turn.
Let it go. Yeah, go on. Keep feeling it out. Pull it with your left hand if you need to. That's it. Keep going.
So a bit more practice needed there. Let's see how Paul does.
Brilliant. Oh, he's going to get a job.
Once pumped into the casing, the sausages need to be twisted into links.
That'll be great. Good snack size.
The raw sausages are hung for 5 to 6 weeks in a curing room, where the temperature is set to 17 degrees Celsius and the humidity to 70%. The sausages are then slowly dried until they've lost 30% of their moisture. But it's not just chorizo on the menu, so everyone is meeting back up with Nick to sample some of his other creations.
OK, guys, we want to try some now?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, OK. Well, we've got some copper here, which is the eye of the shoulder, some lonzo, which is the eye of the loin. This is a blue cheese and red wine salami, and some olives and bread.
Yummy. You guys must eat like this all the time.
Yeah, this is what we do every day this time.
Every day.
This local charcuterie business has really given Amber and Paul an insight into French cooking, along with a definite taste of Somerset. For our second property of the day, we're heading out of Somerset to the Wiltshire village of Bratton, whilst remaining within a 40-minute drive of Bath. Once a hub of industry, Bratton is a charming and historic village, where thatched cottages lie among attractive new builds. Its 13th century church lies away from its centre, and also on the edge of the village is one of Wiltshire's oldest and most famous hill figures, the Westbury Horse. I'm hoping our next property's sheer size and village location will impress Amber and Paul.
Now then, you wanted something maybe with some more space, and I think this house is going to give you just that.
Oh, wow. That looks big. I like it.
That looks big.
Now, this place is only 9 years old, but it looks good, doesn't it? Wooden windows, well-maintained, and by the looks of it, well-built.
Yeah, looks brilliant. I like this. I'm impressed.
This village has got everything you asked for. You've got 2 churches, a shop with a post office that stays up until 8 o'clock at night, a good pub, a primary school, a preschool, a toddler group, an amateur dramatic society.
Now we're talking.
A doctor's surgery.
You're a magician.
I don't know why more people don't live here.
Just keep quiet. Don't tell them where we are.
It's just good, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's really
this
good.
is good. I'm dying to see the inside.
Let's go.
Okay.
Constructed in 2006, this modern house has a country aesthetic exterior, whilst also providing all the convenience and benefits of a contemporary interior, something I know Amber and Paul were particularly keen on. So, through the front door, we're kicking off in the sitting room.
Wow. Look at the size of this room.
Hey.
That's big.
So how could you make this yours? What's going to make it more...
Furniture. Literally a lick of paint and furniture. That's it.
The fundamentals are there. So the walls are in white space and the garden is just off the side of the room.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Brilliant room.
Good. All right, let's keep walking through, because there's a couple of doorways. We just want to poke our heads around. Now, I know you want to work from home, Amber.
Yep.
That is made for you there, look.
Hey.
Yeah, perfect.
Remember this, I know you like open plan, but you've got a dining room there at the moment.
Yeah.
All right, keep that in mind.
Okay.
When you see the kitchen.
Okay. Okay.
Hey.
Island.
Island. It's exactly what we want.
Nice. Yeah. Really modern finish. Okay, we've got a gas hob. That's good.
I mean, your dining room is just next door, so would you keep it as is?
No, I would probably break it through.
That's what you're saying, huh?
Yeah, yeah, and then you've got your diner and your kitchen together.
It's all here, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
and a
it
fully
is.
functioning modern kitchen.
This is... Yeah, it's got
So-
the drawers. that I
Well,
like.
I know you like your drawers.
Drawers,
Thank goodness it had them.
Yeah, my mum will be happy.
Oh, good. Well, as
Yeah.
long as your mum's happy that you got drawers.
Yeah, and she's always said, you never get a house that doesn't have these drawers.
Wise words, Amber's mum. So we're happy so far, aren't we?
Yes, good.
Now, I know you're dying to get outside and have a look at the back garden, but in the last house, it was the bedrooms that you fell out of love with, wasn't it?
Yes.
Let's go and
That's the
inspect
only
those
thing.
first.
Yeah.
Luckily, the generous proportions of this property allow for plenty of space upstairs too. With 4 large double bedrooms, 2 being en suite, there's more than enough room to accommodate Amber and Paul's future plans. There's also a family bathroom, and I'm showing them the largest of the bedrooms.
Now then,
Yeah.
master bedroom, I'm hoping, is a lot more to your liking size-wise.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this
bigger.
is good.
So, is this big enough?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Ensuite.
En suite, so you've got fitted wardrobes
Yeah.
here, there,
So we've got
en suite here.
his and hers, like now. Yeah.
I think a house like this, in a village like this, close to facilities that you have in nearby towns like Westbury, this is the logical leap for you guys, I think.
Yeah. Thin end of the wedge.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the final piece of the jigsaw for you guys is the outside space, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's go and take a peek.
So the house certainly seems to have sold itself to Amber and Paul. Now it's the garden's turn to win them over.
Now then, gardening. How green are your fingers, Paul?
Red. I'm thinking lawn. This is garden.
Yeah. South facing.
Oh, yeah? That's good.
Did you like it?
Love it.
Yeah, do you know what? It's growing on me. It is growing on me. I think I'm a little bit more fussy than he is.
Really?
But I'm starting to realise I'm actually going to have to compromise.
So-
But yeah, you know what? It is actually a perfect house.
So how much would you pay for the perfect house in this position?
Oh, do we have to do this? I'm going to hope, fingers crossed, that this is at 500.
Okay.
I go 515.
Okay. Getting closer.
Oh.
The asking price for this house is £525,000.
Okay.
Now, we've spoken to the owners, and the owners are prepared to negotiate as they know your budget. Look at this smile. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You should be, because looking at everything you wanted on paper,
Yeah.
marrying that against an area, you know, these two things have come together.
Where am I going to put my range?
I've got an idea. Why don't you go and have a look around the house, go look at the bedrooms,
Yes.
and I will meet you out the front whenever you're done.
Sure.
All right?
Our second house is just £25,000 over budget. But with 4 bedrooms, a large sitting room, a generous kitchen and a study, this spacious and modern home certainly gives Amber and Paul everything they wish for in their new property. It's an ideal first home, offering plenty of space inside and out, with real potential to grow into.
Oh, my God, this is huge.
It's another big one.
Yeah. This is amazing. I don't know what we'd do with all the space, to be honest.
Start having a family.
Yeah, I think they better grow quickly.
I'm very comfortable with the style and the age of this house. I'm not wedded to a very old house, so this one I think fits a nice balance.
If this house was 8 miles from Bath, we would be waiting for the owners to come home now to say, how much do you want? You know, how much will you take for it? Definitely.
At some point there's going to be a compromise between what we want and what we can afford. Where those compromises fall, I don't know. That'll be a conversation Amber and I have later.
It's suddenly dawned on me that maybe, I don't know if I'm yet up for this massive move away from, you know, everything and everyone I know. Maybe it's just fear. I just need to just do it. Just jump in with both feet.
So I take it this house is on top at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this a potential?
Yes.
Perfect. Something to think about tonight, then, maybe.
It's the second day of our house hunt in Somerset, and with £500,000 to spend, we're looking to find Paul and Amber, who are engaged, a perfect marital home just weeks before their big day. But will I have to carry them over the threshold of our mystery house?
Come on, what's going through your mind?
Honestly?
Yeah.
And I'll be poking around underground in a very deep hole.
Well, I think it's fair to say we had a clear winner out of yesterday's 2 properties. But I'm starting to get the inkling that Amber in particular might be getting cold feet in regards to this big move from London out to the Somerset countryside. So to that end, I'd like to show them a property closer to their target city of Bath. But as we've discussed already, the further north in the county you go, well, the less you get for your money. And I think today's mystery house will flush out what they really want. Essentially, it might just come down to a question of location versus the big house. And dare I say it, the dreaded compromise.
For the last house on our property tour, we're heading to within 7 miles of Amber and Paul's dream city of Bath, to the village of Norton St Philip. Nestled between the delightful Cotswolds and the rugged Mendips, the village of Norton St Philip is surrounded by lush countryside and is characterised by its limestone buildings with their mullioned windows, stone-tiled roofs and billowing chimney pots. Along with a school and a farm shop, the village is also home to one of Britain's oldest pubs. Built originally as a wool store, the building is around 700 years old and is now Grade 1 listed. Staggering distance from the pub, just down from the high street, lies our third and final house.
OK, so the mystery house is this property here.
Okay.
Okay. Go on.
Spot for compromise.
Terraced.
Yeah. But that's because we're only 7 miles from Bath. Right?
Only 7 miles.
Only 7 miles from Bath. Come on, what's going through your mind?
Honestly?
Yeah.
It's all right. I guess I have to see the inside.
This is it. If you want to live this close to Bath,
Yeah.
things will have to shrink. So, let's go inside.
From the outside, Amber and Paul don't seem particularly taken with our Grade 2 listed terraced property, but I'm more than confident there is plenty going on inside to win them over.
So first room, the front room. Do you like the idea of a snug that you shut away from the rest of the house and put the fire on? Or?
Yeah,
it's
it's very
lovely.
cosy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Good. All right, well, I want you to see this first, then you can make your mind of what you do with the middle receptions. Let me just squeeze through there. OK, so, the middle room.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Oh, I think this is very nice. This area.
I think it's very cute.
Yeah, very cute.
I wonder if there's any outside space. That's a question I have.
You'll have to trust me on this one.
Okay.
Come and have a look at the kitchen. Now, when you see the kitchen, you can see that the dining table there works.
Yeah.
Because you spill from one to the other, don't you?
Yeah, really well. It's a lovely kitchen. It's got the range and it's got
Kitchen
the sunken sink that I really like.
This living accommodation, I know it's probably smaller than you had hoped for. It's not my fault. I'm not beating you over the head with this, but
Yeah.
I'm showing you the facts, really.
Yeah.
It's at the moment, I'm trying to show you two polar opposites. Property 2,
Yeah.
bags of space, further out of Bath.
Yeah.
Close to Bath, we
Yeah.
shrink a little bit.
True, OK.
All right, so bedroom accommodation next, and then I'll go and show you the garden, if there is one. Of course there is one.
Upstairs, the property's spread over 2 floors and consists of 3 bedrooms, a good-sized family bathroom and a study that could easily be transformed into a nursery or even a 4th room. But I'm going to continue selling the positives of this house in the master bedroom.
Small step on the way up. Now, are you a fan of baths in bedrooms?
I've never seen one before.
Well, you've got an ensuite through there with a separate shower.
Yeah, this is
OK.
different.
Yeah, this is a real surprise.
Lovely beams.
Yeah.
A very nice room, this. Wasn't expecting this.
What you have to take forward from this is don't judge a book by its cover. Give a house a chance.
Yeah.
Get in the front door. And that's so important. It really is.
Yeah.
It can grow on you. You can see past the furniture. Look at the square footage of this room.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
So that last bit of advice, who should I be directing it to?
Both of us, really. Oh, yeah. It's not like you're like Mr.
I
Oculus
go with
Pro.
more of an open mind, I think, than you do.
Now, let's go outside and have a look at the garden. See if that meets with your approval.
Okay.
So inside hasn't blown my couple away, and I just feel that it's the property's terraced position that's proving to be a hurdle for Amber and Paul. But I do have one more surprise up my sleeve that I'm hoping will convince them of the merits of this house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, that is a surprise.
The big question is, what are you going to do with all this garden, then?
Move the whole house and make it like twice the size.
Look at you. Behave yourself. Now, look, I'm now showing you a house with a big enough garden.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Your face, when we pulled up to the house, you looked at the terrace, would cut glass. Now, look at it.
Yeah, this is lovely.
You wouldn't have looked at this house, would you?
Never, no. Not in a million years.
Now, up there, you've got
That's
fantastic
incredible.
views. Sunbathing for Paul.
Correct.
Clothing optional.
Yeah.
Correct. It continues the theme of this house of
Yeah.
the more you explore, the more you find.
Have a go at guessing the price.
I'm going to say what I would pay for this, rather than what I think it's valued at. I'm going to say 450.
OK. Right, Paul.
I'm going to go for 510.
OK. Better guess. This house is on the market for offers around £495,000.
Okay.
Well, why don't you both go back into the house? Maybe the best thing to do is compare this with the property we saw yesterday afternoon, in terms of location and size.
Okay.
All right?
Cheers.
See you in a bit.
On the market for £5,000 under budget, this charming and historic stone cottage offers our couple a bespoke modern kitchen, a separate dining room and a family lounge, plus 3 good-sized bedrooms upstairs and an expansive garden to the rear. And while it might not provide the largest internal living space, Being located just 7 miles from Bath, this property is exactly where Amber and Paul said they wanted to be.
Oh, goodness me, look at this. That's big.
Ah.
That's really big. Look at these beams. That's beautiful. Didn't expect to see a room of this size. It's like the majority of the house. Good space.
From the outside, I was pretty concerned that it was going to be a terrace house, the kind of thing we're trying to get away from in London, but out here. However, the more rooms that we saw, the more garden that we saw, it kind of changed my perception entirely.
It's fair to say that I'm not sure it's a house for me, but I don't want, you know, I think everybody might be thinking that I've got this great idea of what I want. I think I'm like everyone else. I've got an idea of what I want, and I know that I probably will find that.
So, all done?
Yep.
So, decision time looms, and
Yes.
lucky for you, there's a cracking local pub.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Let's go.
I'll take you there.
Lying to the north of Somerset, the Mendip Hills are a remarkable limestone landscape of dramatic deep gorges and ancient woodland, whilst hidden beneath is a labyrinth of caves, making it one of the best areas in Britain for a particular adventure sport. I've come to the north of the Mendips to meet Graham Price from a local caving club, who's going to take me on an underground tour of one of the Mendip's lesser-known gems, Goat Church Cavern.
So, Graham, I'm very excited to be here. Now, before we get inside, how are these caves formed?
This particular cave we're going to be going in was formed actually underwater, totally. But currently, most of the major main cave systems on Mendip are formed with water running off the top of the hill, finding a way underground and gradually enlarging passageways and then coming out at the bottom.
Now, why are we here at Goat Church Cavern? Is it because I'm a complete novice and you don't want to scare me? I'm hoping that's the case.
And we might scare you anyway, but this is generally a very good beginner's cave. It has a lot of variation in it. It has some very easy bits, something that's a bit more difficult if you want to do it.
So let's get all fixed up, and, well, you lead the way, and then I'll follow timidly.
Though an exciting sport, caving can be dangerous and should only be attempted with a qualified guide or group whilst wearing the correct protective clothing. During the early 1900s, an unsuccessful attempt was made to transform Goat Church Cavern into a spectacular show cave. And as we descend deep into the cavern, evidence of these efforts are still visible today.
Yeah, she's a bit slippy, isn't she?
Yeah, well, you can see here on the floor where the remains of the steps which they cut, the Victorians cut.
Oh, so this is all man-made then?
These steps here were actually cut out and they form part of the show cave. As we come down this next section, take very great care because it does get very, very slippery.
I'll be using the Victorian handrails.
As we descend ever deeper into the cavern, some of the cave's natural creations start to become visible.
So here, Graham, we're starting to see some formations already, aren't we? The start of stalactites, I take it?
These are tiny, tiny, narrow little things. And you can see there's a drip of water on the end of them.
Yeah.
And that's how they're formed. The water has obviously got a high content of calcium carbonate, and it actually deposits the calcium carbonate to form the formation.
I get you. Now, so far, we've come down a relatively gentle slope. What lies ahead?
Well, not very far down here now. We can drop down into a completely different sort of passageway. It starts to get smaller. It starts to get a bit more vertical, and it's called the giant staircase.
Let's get down there. I might use the well-documented Irwin 5-point traverse.
Your backside.
Yeah.
Well, so far so good, but things are starting to get a little tighter as we begin to make our way down in order to find a way out.
This is where it starts to get a bit more interesting.
All right.
If you sit on the edge and keep your hands out so you don't go shooting off down too quickly.
All right, OK. Once more into the abyss.
Created over 3 million years ago, Goat Church Cavern extends to a length of 1,300 metres and reaches a depth of 59 metres. A maze of short climbs and passages with colourful names including Bloody Tight and the Drain Pipe, the underground system was first discovered in the 19th century and is popular with cavers today. I have to admit, the subterranean landscape is certainly impressive. Ah, daylight! And so with my adventures underground over, it's a big thanks to Graham and his team.
Of the three properties we've shown, Amber and Paul, I reckon the second house is certainly the most suitable. But the big question is, are they ready to make that big move to the countryside? Time to find out. Now then, you ready to move to rural Somerset?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think we're more informed
Yeah.
OK.
to make the big move.
So did you have a favourite house out of the three that we showed you?
I think the second property definitely had everything that we'd asked for, and in terms of sort of practicality and sensible. It was a sensible house. That's how I would view it, and it's definitely by far the best of the three we've seen. But I think the problem with that one was still location, because we still want to be closer to Bath than where that property is located. So that was the big.
That was the compromise, wasn't it?
Basically.
Yeah,
that's a compromise.
Yeah, for us.
You know what I'm getting at. You know I'm going to talk to you about what compromise you're going to be able to make.
We, for example, we don't need 4 bedrooms. We'd be happy to take 3. And that would take some money off maybe a property that was closer to Bath. We take a smaller garden because we know we can't really manage a massive garden. So it's things like that which would be not massive compromises for us.
I think, yeah, it's great that you're trimming off bits and bobs in your mind now.
Yeah.
4 bedrooms down to 3, bigger garden to a smaller garden. I think you'll need to do that. You really will. And maybe bide your time. You never know, maybe your first escape to the country isn't that. It's escape from London.
It's yeah.
Smaller steps.
2015 is a big enough year as is.
You've got a lot on. You're moving in the right direction, that's towards greenery.
Yeah.
So good luck with it, and let us know exactly what happens in the future, won't you?
Yeah, we will.
And good luck in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much.
Make no mistake, £500,000 is a good budget, but I'm afraid it falls somewhat short against Amber and Paul's aspirations. But I'm pleased to hear they're coming round to the idea, at least, of compromise. But what next? Well, it wouldn't surprise me if we found them, certainly in the short term, living inside Bath rather than outside it. I wish them both the very best of luck.
After a wonderful wedding in South Africa, Amber and Paul have decided to start their West Country adventure by renting in Bath and exploring the local villages before purchasing their new home. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.
Today I'm stood on what proudly claims to be the oldest continuously inhabited street in the whole of Europe. But where am I and who lives here? Find out in just a moment.
Today's youthful couple are searching for a perfect country pad just 3 weeks before they tie the knot. But other plans are already being made.
Okay, so I would want to rip out all these cupboards, get rid of them completely, and have drawers.
Luckily, I've brought my magic wand along with me for this search.
You're a magician.
Don't know why more people don't live here.
Shh, don't tell them.
Keep quiet, don't tell them where we are.
Today I'm in Somerset, in England's smallest city, Wells. Now behind me is the beautiful Gothic cathedral, but this is Vicar's Close. Completed in 1363, it was built to individually house each of the 42 clergymen who sang in the choir. Thought to be Europe's oldest continuously inhabited street, it remains largely unchanged, and the cottages are still home to members of the choir and staff, a tradition that survived for over 700 years. But as you're about to see, it's not the only landmark in this beautiful county that's worth singing about.
Located in the heart of the West Country, Somerset is bordered by Devon and Dorset to the south and Wiltshire to the east. Somerset's varied landscape gently spreads from coast to country, encapsulating some of the most eye-catching scenery Britain has to offer. Running from east to west, the Mendips cover an area of 77 square miles and offers picturesque scenes of rich green pasture and farmland laid over undulating slopes and rolling hills, crisscrossed by an array of popular bridleways and footpaths. This tranquil setting is only interrupted by deep and rocky chasms like Cheddar Gorge, whose rugged ravines create a permanent and striking scar on the landscape. The popular Kennet and Avon Canal meanders through Somerset's peaceful valleys and past historic buildings such as the pumping station at Claverton. At the heart of the county lies the Somerset Levels, a rich and beautiful area of lowland whose skyline is dominated by the iconic Glastonbury Tor. With its rich and diverse landscapes, it's easy to see why Somerset has such enduring appeal for those looking to escape to the country.
The average price of a detached house in Somerset currently stands at £276,000, which is a very attractive £6,000 below the national figure. However, the bad news is if you head to the northeast of the county, and Bath in particular, you can expect to pay a hefty premium of around £100,000 above the national figure. This is due in no small part to the popularity of the beautiful Georgian architecture and good rail links to Bristol in one direction and London in the other, which, funnily enough, are also some of the same reasons attracting today's buyers to the area. So let's meet them.
Consultant Paul and lawyer Amber met 3 years ago at work, and last year, whilst on holiday in South Africa, Paul popped the big question, much to Amber's astonishment.
There is a story to our proposal. It was on the beach in front of my house where I grew up. I had no idea. It was a complete surprise.
First thing Amber said was no, 3 times.
I was quite shocked. So it wasn't like a no, I don't want to marry you. It was more like a, oh my God, no, not now. Do it another time when I was ready.
And then she did say yes.
I did say yes.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Just over a year later, those wedding bells are starting to sound that much louder as the big day comes ever closer.
Amber is South African, so we're going out to South Africa for the ceremony. It's going to be terrific, it's going to be lovely and warm, and we're really excited. Now's an important time for the move because we're going to get married, and I really don't want to come back and live in a rented house.